Hey. Alright, we are back. It's Alec. Today is May 18th, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And I just got to get something off my mind, man. I just got to say, I went to see the Amazing Spider-Man 2 a couple days ago. I saw it twice, so I think I'm a little bit, experienced with the movie now. Now that I've seen it twice, and I've gotten it better. I know the first time I went to go see it with a couple friends. They always be mischief makers, so they was doing their thing and shit, and I couldn't really pay attention. I caught most of the film the first time. There were a few parts that when I saw it the second time, then I fully understood. So I think I'm pretty good with the movie. I think I know what's going on. I think I know what happened. I think I could maybe not pick it piece from piece, the whole entire movie, but if someone asked me something and somebody, had like theories and shit, I could probably get into it. But anyways, what were my thoughts? I thought the movie was pretty damn good, to be honest. I know I've seen a lot of people say that they didn't like it. I mean, hey, everyone has their opinions, I guess. I know there's a few movies that I don't like that people said were good, and I know a lot of people that said the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was good also. So, hey, man, everyone's got their opinions. But and I'm not the type of person to get angry and shit when someone dislikes something I like and shit. Fuck you. You don't like Spider-Man 2? Fuck you. But yeah, hey, if someone has, like legit reasons why they can't, or like why they don't like the movie, or, why it disappointed them or something like that, then go ahead. Let me know, and we can, talk. I like to discuss things, man. And that's what this is going to be. This is a discussion slash thoughts slash, I'm not going to say review because I'm not that good at reviewing stuff, so. Yeah, but I literally, one of my favorite YouTubers, I'm not going to list who he is, but he's not really a YouTuber. He has like his own channel. He comes on YouTube, not channel, but he has his own website, but he comes on his channel every now and then, and he posts some videos, and he does like movie reviews. He does it in like a funny style. He's kind of like JonTron, but for movies, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like that. But I think he was before JonTron. I don't know. I have no idea. I just started getting into like YouTube. I started liking people on YouTube and getting into YouTube like a couple years ago, so I'm not that adept with what's going on here. But yeah, he does like movie reviews, so you expect him, to do, like, if he's gonna dislike a movie, you expect him to thoroughly go into it, thoroughly have watched the movie and thoroughly say, give legit reasons why the movie was bad or why he disliked it. This guy sat here for 2 hours. Literally, the video was 2 hours. Shit. And 30 minutes long. Just going on. I didn't watch the whole video. Honestly, I only watched like 5 minutes of the video and I turned it off because he was just being ridiculous. But 2 hours and 30 minutes of just ranting about why he disliked The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, like I said, everyone has their opinion. Everyone can dislike the movie, and I'm not angry. I'm not mad that he said he disliked the movie. My thing is, if you're going to hate on something, especially something that I really enjoy, something that I think was put together very well, something that I think was, legitly, honestly, in all shape, maybe not in all ways, shapes, or form, but it was good overall. If you're going to say something like that is bad, give like legit reasons, man. This dude said there were several parts throughout the movie where he just wanted to get up and walk out. He said, like, within like the first couple minutes, he just stopped paying attention because it was stupid. And if you've seen the movie, it's not really spoilers. The first couple minutes is just Spider-Man doing Spider-Man's thing, saving the city, chasing crime. There's a couple guys in like trucks just going through the city, stole some, what was it, plutonium or something from Oscorp, and they were in like an armored truck just going through the city. There was a whole bunch of police officers chasing them, and you know, Spider-Man doing his thing. You know, he was talking his stuff, and you know, just taking out the villains of his style. And he said that that wasn't, you know, a good scene. I mean, yeah, there are ways that it could have been better. You could have had a real villain there, but this is like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. It's Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like Spider-Man, you know, is like he always stops petty crimes, and then there's, you know, there's big villains, and that's, I mean, pretty much what the, and that's pretty much, you know, every superhero. Like Batman, you know, he stops petty crimes. I mean, I'm not really a fan of Superman, but I'm sure Superman stops petty crimes too. But that's like every superhero, man. You can't just, I mean, it would be cool to start the movie out right away with like a real big time villain or something. But I mean, I'm cool. We're in the second movie. I mean, we're just now. I mean, Spider-Man just became like a city hero from the first movie. So it's cool to see Spider-Man, you know, actually being, you know, envied by the citizens of New York, and you know, he's just going and stopping crime, and it's cool to actually see, you know, the citizens, you know, actually, you know, envying him, you know, not thinking that he's a vigilante and a criminal. I mean, still, the police obviously still think that, or some people still obviously think he's a vigilante, but I mean, he's mostly a hero, and everyone knows that now. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that scene whatsoever. You see, and one of the characters that was driving the truck actually comes back later on in the movie to be an actual villain. So it's no problem, honestly. I mean, yeah, like I said, you could have done it different ways. You could have put like a big time villain in the movie, but the actual, you know, the movie actually has villains, and like the movie has villains that the movie, you know, revolves around. Like in Spider-Man 2, it's Electro, and then there's, I mean, the main villain to be brought out in the Spider-Man 2 is Electro, who's Jamie Foxx, who's like a guy who's, you know, he's like a nobody in the world. Like he's this nerdy looking guy. You know, he's got glasses, his hairdo's all messed up. He made like blueprints for I forgot what it's called, like the whatever powers the city, like the weather vane or some shit. I don't know. He drew the designs for the power of like the power core of the city, and nobody, you know, recognizes that he did that. He just wants, basically, he just wants to be noticed by the world. Like he's a nobody. You know, he has no friends, and all he wants is to be noticed by the world. And like Spider-Man saved him at one point in the movie, and he just fell in, like he was a fanatic, like Spider-Man fanatic. Like it pans to a scene where he's at his home, and like he has his walls full of pictures with Spider-Man on it. He's talking to himself, but it's actually making it, he thinks that he's actually talking to Spider-Man, but he's actually talking to himself and stuff, you know. And he's just like this sorry guy, and like you kind of feel bad for him. And then, you know, he eventually, it's his birthday one day, and like everyone's, you know, being a douche to him at Oscorp. Told him he had to stay after late while everyone's going home. He had to stay after late to check out, you know, there was something wrong with something. There was like some I don't know, something that he invented that was powered by electrical eels or something, and he had to go fix it because there was a problem with it. And then when he put it together, you know, he falls in to the pool full of electric eels, and then they static shock him, and then eventually he becomes Electro and shit. And see, that's, you know, that's the main villain right there. That's who it's supposed to be. And there are other villains in the movie, like the Green Goblin's in the movie, and then at the very end, the Rhino comes in. And I mean, it's not really spoilers. I mean, they're not that big of villains. I mean, the Green Goblin kind of is, but Rhino, he's just like some bitch. I mean, in the movie, he's just some sort of bitch that gets his. I mean, they don't even really show the fight, so I'm guessing that it wasn't that important. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Rhino's like design. It's kind of like, I expected the Rhino to be like, you know, just mutated into like a rhino or something like that, you know, kind of like the lizard, but he was just on like this mechanical rhino suit, and it was the guy from the very beginning of the movie who was in the armored truck that Spider-Man stopped. It was him. He became the Rhino. And like, see, it's good, you know what I'm saying? But this guy literally said, you know, he just stopped paying attention. And then how can you say that you stopped paying attention Like, he full on admitted he stopped paying attention to the movie, and then go on for 2 hours and 30 minutes on a video saying that you disliked it and just dogging on the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. And then, like, some of the things he was saying was like he was questioning some things in the movie that were actually explained. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was questioning like whether Peter's like family were spies or like scientists. And I mean, it's clear that they're scientists, man. Like, he was wondering like why they were fleeing to go to like their safe house in Lake Geneva. I mean, it explains that. You just gotta listen and pay attention to the movie. You know, you can't just, you know, half-ass, not pay attention, and then question things like that, because you're gonna miss something. You know what I'm saying? Things that are explained. It explains that later on in the movie. It explains that Norman Osborn, you know, wanted to use Richard Parker's, you know, his experiments that he was doing. You know, he wanted to use that for biological weapons, and he wanted to team up with like some foreign country to, you know, make biological weapons out of Richard Parker's research, and he didn't want to do that. So Norman got mad and then tried to have Richard Parker killed and steal his data so he could go on with the research, you know. And Richard Parker, you know, got rid of all that stuff. You know, he had to bring Peter over to Aunt May and Uncle Ben's house, you know, to have Peter stay with them. And then they had to flee because, you know, Norman Osborn had people out for them, like they were going to die, so they had to flee somewhere. And they had a safe house in Lake Geneva where they could go, where they would be safe. But obviously that wasn't the case, because they ended up dying in a plane crash. And he was questioning why they were fleeing to Lake Geneva. He was questioning why they didn't just bring Peter with him. Those things are explained, man. Like, listen to the movie and you would understand. I'm sorry, like, I don't, like I said, I don't mind if people have their own opinion, but just please back it up, man. Like, I can tell, like, literally all the things that he said weren't explained and shit was explained. And another thing he said was stupid and unexplained was how, like, he started working for the Daily Bugle. Like, he started, you know, taking photos. Like, he didn't understand, you know, at what point he started doing that. And, I mean, yeah, okay, they don't really show him going to the Daily Bugle and doing all that bullshit. But, again, it's explained, sort of, you know what I'm saying? In the first movie, you know, there's a scene where he looks down, like, he's trying to figure out how to catch the lizard, alright? And he looks down at, like, a package of newspapers prints that's on the floor. And on the front of the newspaper it says Daily Bugle, and it says looking for evidence, and, like, you know, so obviously he's gonna go take a pic looking for evidence of the lizard. So he sees that, and it actually shows the paper, so you can see that if you look at the paper and read it, you could put the pieces together and say, oh. Because in the very next scene, he has his camera, and he goes down to the sewers where the lizard hides out, you know, and he has his camera set up to take pictures of the lizard, so obviously you can see that he's gonna take some pictures for the Daily Bugle. And I mean, again, that's not, I mean, it's not the best way to start up, you know, Peter working, because obviously Peter, you know, after his school life, he starts photography for the Daily Bugle, and that's how he makes some money and shit. I mean, I'm like, I know that the Amazing Spider-Man series is supposed to be based off the comic books, and I haven't, I mean, I've seen a couple of, you know, strips from the comic book. I haven't read all of them, definitely not. I know I own the Amazing Spider-Man 1, the video game, and I know in the game you can unlock comic strips, and I've read some of them. So I've seen, you know, some of what goes on, but I haven't read all of them. But again, like, I mean, this is a movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a new series, and it's supposed, I mean, I don't know if it's like a reboot of the original Spider-Man series, and even if it is, man, like, you gotta think of it, you gotta think, like I said, or I didn't really say it, but, I mean, you want, okay, not all the time, we don't always want something different. Like, everyone wants, you know, in some way they want it to be the same. Like, when I remember before the Amazing Spider-Man 1 even came out, I was like, man, this looks stupid. Man, the old Spider-Man, nothing can ever beat the old Spider-Man. Every time I think of Spider-Man, I'm gonna think of, you know, this Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? Until I actually went to see the first movie, I was like, okay, this is actually not bad. Like, this is, I can get used to this. Like, I can actually, look forward to the second movie coming out. And I did. I went to go see it twice within a week, man. Like, I actually really enjoyed the second movie. It was way better than the first one. But I don't want to get too much into it because I know it's still kind of a new movie. So there's a lot of spoilers that I could say and I really want to talk about, but I can't. I mean, just, for the people who haven't seen it. Not like anyone's going to watch this video anyways, but, you never know. But yeah, dude, it's a really good movie. I just, I can't stand, like I said, I don't mind when people have their own opinions on stuff. Just back it up. I can't stand when people, are hating on something, especially something that I like and really enjoy, and their, facts are stupid, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand something that was explained. And I guess I didn't really go too deep into that Daily Bugle thing, but yeah, he just sees the newspaper, that says, looking for proof, Daily Bugle on the lizard, and he takes pictures of it. I mean, in the next scene, his camera kind of gets destroyed, so I don't know how I don't think he gets the pictures of the lizard to the Daily Bugle. But then in the second movie, he kind of starts up and taking pictures of Spider-Man, how Peter Parker actually does. He takes pictures of himself, and sends them to the Daily Bugle to make money. And they don't really, I guess they really don't go into that. Like, they really don't go into, Peter actually starting to work for the Daily Bugle. But, which is understandable. I guess that's kind of, something off. But I feel like, I feel like they kind of took that part out just to focus more on, to give more time to, Peter and Gwen. And then the villains, the villain structure, like Electro. And then they had the lizard in the first one. But I think in the third one they might go more into it now because Peter's out of school now. He has less. He still has to be Spider-Man. But I think they'll go more into the Daily Bugle in the third movie. Hopefully they do, because that is something that Peter does. After he gets out of school, after when he starts living his actual life to make money. He starts working at the Daily Bugle because he can take photos of himself. But overall, I think I'd give Spider-Man 2 maybe an 8 or maybe even 9, like a 9.5, because that movie was just amazing, And, some things that I thought were, I'm not saying that's flawless, definitely not, but there's some things that they could have done more. Like, I think Electro didn't get as much time as he should have, because they kind of built him up. They kind of took too long to build him up, and then they, he really didn't show up too much in the movie besides the end. And towards the middle, but they really didn't show him too much. And then, one thing I think is cool when the hero gets beat down by the villain, and then he has to work his way up to find out how to defeat him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like in a hero movie, and that really didn't happen in this one. So the fight was pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie, the fight was pretty good. If you haven't seen it, definitely go see it. It's definitely worth a see. I'll say that. You could wait till it comes out on DVD, which probably most people do, or most people probably just watch the bootleg. I like to go to the theaters because I like to see it in the full experience, And I actually saw it in the 3D. Not that cool in 3D, but hey, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I think about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Let me know what you guys think if you're watching this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about anything Spider-Man. Do you think the comics, do you think it's going by the comics? Do you think that the movie was good? Do you think the movie was bad? Do you think that the old one was better? Or what's just, I don't know, discussion time. Let's do this. Alright, but I'll catch you guys later. I'm actually about to head out, so peace.